Hello students, in last lecture of chapter 3 plant kingdom, today we are going to study about two divisions of plant kingdom, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms, as well as plant life cycle and alternation of generation. Now you are aware of this plant kingdom is having five type of divisions. This five type of division, first three algae, bryophytes and pteridophytes you have already studied in previous lectures, and now rest of two divisions, gymnosperms and angiosperms. We are starting with gymnosperm first here. First of all, what is the meaning of gymnosperm? Gymnos means naked and sperm matlab seeds. Okay, so the meaning of gymnosperm, that is naked seeds. It means that the seeds are not covered by or enclosed by any particular layer. In these plants, which ovules are not enclosed by any ovary wall and remain exposed both before and after fertilization, that is simple meaning of gymnosperms, naked seeds. The seeds that develop post fertilization are not covered, they are naked. Gymnosperm include medium-sized trees or tall trees and shrubs also, that we will study in figure also. One of the gymnosperms, the giant redwood tree, that is sequoia, is one of the tallest tree species. So it's an interesting example of tallest tree which belongs to gymnosperm here, and that is sequoia plant. The roots are generally, type is taproot in gymnosperms. Roots in some genera have fungal association in the form of mycorrhiza. The name of plant which show this type of association, that is Pinus of gymnosperm, while in some others like Cycas, small specialized roots called coralloid roots are associated with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. So over and above this taproot system, some type of roots show this type of association like Pinus, fungal association with mycorrhiza, or in Cycas also with nitrogen fixing cyanobacteria. If we talk about stems in gymnosperms, they are unbranched like Cycas or may be branched like Pinus and Citrus. The leaves may be simple or compound. Cycas and Pinus, they are example of gymnosperm plants, and generally you have seen it in garden at home or generally in public garden also. This type of trees are observable, that is Cycas and Pinus. These are common plants from gymnosperms. In Cycas, the pinnate leaves persist for a few years. The leaves in gymnosperms are well adapted to withstand extremes of temperature, humidity and wind. So we can say that some adaptations are observed here. In conifers, the needle-like leaves reduce the surface area. Conifers means the plants which develop cone or strawberry-like structure at the time period of reproduction in their life. So they show needle-like leaves, that is thin fiber-like needle-like shape is there, that's why needle-shaped leaves are there. The main purpose or adaptation of this leaf, that is reduction of surface area. Their thick cuticle and sunken stomata, they are also helpful to reduce water loss. So we can say these adaptations observed in leaf like reduction of surface area, thick cuticle layer and sunken stomata, they are helpful to reduce water loss here. In this figure we can see some plants which belong to gymnosperm division here. First, a figure is actually picture of Cycas plant. Commonly it is found in general garden. Okay, in this picture you can see they are having large size leaf and it is not branch plant. In second picture you can see Pinus. The difference between Cycas and Pinus you can easily understand by comparing both figure. Pinus having needle shaped leaves here, okay, which is not observed in Cycas. In Pinus, branches are observed while Cycas is unbranched. So first figure Cycas, second that is Pinus from Gymnosperm, third is example that is Gymnosperm ginkgo plant. Here different structure is observed. In ginkgo plant, two type of shoots are there, dwarf and long shoot. So we can say shoots small size, so having lesser length, and long shoot is also observed, as well as here you can see in this picture seeds are also there. So by studying this figure also we can easily understand the Gymnosperm plant or trees and its structure like Cycas, Pinus and ginkgo plant. Now let's talk about Gymnosperm spores and their structure. Actually Gymnosperms, they are heterosporous. Heterosporous means they show two different type of spore like haploid microspores and megaspore. Micro small size, mega large size. So this way two type of spores they produce in their life cycle, microspores and megaspores. These two kinds of spores actually produce within sporangia. Now you know it very well. Sporangia is spore producing organ which born on sporophylls. Sporophylls means which bear sporangia, spore producing organ. This kind of leaves, they are sporophylls which are arranged spirally along an axis to form lax or compact strobili or cones. The strobili bearing microsporophylls and microsporangia are called microsporangiate or male strobili. So this entire structure is related with male reproductive organ in Gymnosperms. Microsporophyll which bear microsporangia, within this microsporangia microspores develop. So entire structure is related with male organ. The microspores develop into a male gametophytic generation which is highly reduced and is confined to only a limited number of cells. This reduced gametophyte is called pollen grain. So we can compare with angiosperm pollen grain here also of Gymnosperm structure. Development of pollen grains take place within the microsporangia. The cone bearing megasporophyll with ovules or megasporangia are called macrosporangiate or female strobili here. So megasporophyll which possess megasporangia, within this megasporangia megaspores produce or develop here. The male and female cones or strobili may be born on the same tree, it is like Pinus, or maybe it can develop on different trees also like Cycas. So these are interesting example where this both type of cones, male and female, may born on same tree, that is Pinus, or different trees like Cycas. The megaspore mother cell is differentiated from one of the cells, that is of nucellus. The nucellus is protected by envelopes and the composite structure that is called an ovule. The ovules are born on megasporophylls which may be clustered to form the female cones. So this entire structure or arrangement is related with female reproductive organ in Gymnosperms, that is megasporophyll, megasporangia, megaspores. The megaspore mother cell divides meiotically to form 4 megaspore. Actually, megaspore mother cell, that is diploid structure 2n in nature. At maturity it divides by reduction division, that is meiosis division, and produce from 2n to n 4 megaspores. But one of the megaspore enclosed within the megasporangia develop into a multicellular female gametophyte that bears 2 or more archegonia or female sex organ. So only one can develop in this structure. The multicellular female gametophyte is also retained within megasporangia. So this is about the male and female reproductive structure in gymnosperm plant, that is male cone or male strobili or female cone or female strobili here. Unlike bryophytes and pteridophytes, if we compare gymnosperms, the male and the female gametophyte do not have an independent free living existence. They remain within the sporangia retained on the sporophytes. The pollen grain is released from the microsporangia at maturity. They are carried in air currents and come in contact with the opening of the ovules borne on megasporophylls for fertilization purpose. The pollen tube carrying the male gametes grows towards archegonia in the ovules and discharge their contents near the mouth of archegonia. So we can understand this pollen grain, it transferred or traveled toward female structure, pollen tube developed, male gametes, this discharge towards female ovules at the site of mouth of archegonia, and fertilization process take place. Following fertilization, zygote develops into an embryo and the ovules into seeds. So we can say after fertilization the zygote develops and it continuously mitotic divide take place, multicellular structure is formed from single cell structure and embryo is formed, as well as the ovules now turn into seed structure. But as you know very well, gymnosperm seeds are not covered, here seeds are naked. So in angiosperms seeds are covered, in gymnosperm seeds are naked. Now last and fifth division of plant kingdom, that is angiosperms. Simple meaning of angiosperm means they are having covered seed. So this is main difference between gymnosperm and angiosperm. Gymnosperm possess naked seeds and angiosperm possess covered seed. Unlike the gymnosperms where the ovules are naked, in the angiosperms, or they are also known as flowering plants, the pollen grains and ovules are developed in specialized structure called flowers here. In angiosperms, the seeds are enclosed by fruits, so seeds are not naked. The angiosperms are an exceptionally large group of plants occurring in wide range of habitats. Actually, majority of plants which you see your surrounding, which are observable nearby us, they are angiosperm plants. Some common plants, they are rose, mogra, neem tree, mango tree, etc. They all belong to angiosperms. Angiosperms range in size from tiny, almost microscopic like Wolffia, not easily observable by naked eyes, to tall trees like eucalyptus, which is having height of 100 meters. So that is interesting example. They possess smallest like Wolffia plant as well as tallest like eucalyptus, which possess 100 meters of height here. These angiosperm plants provide us with food, fodder, fuel, medicines and several other commercially important products. So we can say that they are economically very useful to mankind. In this picture you can see two type of angiosperms. Actually angiosperm is classified or divided into two class, that is dicotyledons and monocotyledons. Dicotyledons, they possess two cotyledon in seed structure. In monocotyledons, seed possess only single cotyledon. That is main difference between dicotyledon and single monocotyledon plant. In figure A you can see a dicotyledon plant like sunflower. So it is well developed, having all organs, root, stem and leaf, and possess well developed or typical flower structure here. Here flower is generally pentamerous and leaf possess reticulate venation. If we compare monocots, you can see here a different structure is observed. In monocot plants, leaves they are having parallel venation and flowers are generally trimerous or tetramerous type of flower. The root system is also different. So by studying this figure we can come to know about this angiosperms having two classes, dicotyledons and monocotyledon plants. Some common example of dicotyledon plants, they are sunflower, rose, and common example from monocots, they are lily plant and all variety of grasses. This angiosperm plant, their main two classes are dicotyledon and monocotyledon. Dicots and monocots, main difference, that is dicot. The meaning is having two cotyledon. Monocot is having single cotyledon in their seed structure. They are having well developed or typical flower structure. Here the male sex organ in flower is stamen. Each stamen consists of a slender filament with an anther at the tip. So typical stamen structure is having anther, connective and filament, that you know very well. The anthers following meiosis produce pollen grains. The female sex organ in flower is pistil or carpel. Pistil consists of an ovary enclosing one to many ovules. So stamen and pistil or carpel, actually we can say unit of reproduction here in angiosperm. Stamen possess anther, connective and filament, while pistil or carpel possess stigma, style and ovary in their structure. If we talk further about reproductive organs in angiosperms, in female, within ovules are present highly reduced female gametophytes termed embryosac. The embryosac formation is processed by meiosis actually. Hence, each of the cell of an embryosac is haploid here. In embryosac structure, 8 cell structure organization is there, that we will study in standard 12 in detail also. 3 cells, they are known as egg apparatus, having 1 egg cell and 2 synergid cell. It means 3 cells are here. More 3 cells we are known as antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei at the center or middle region. So we can say egg apparatus 3 plus 3 antipodal plus 2. It means 8 cell structure is observed in typical embryo sac of angiosperm plants. The polar nuclei eventually fuse to produce a diploid secondary nucleus. So at centrally located this polar nuclei, actually 2 cells are there. They fuse and form single cell structure but having 2 nucleus. That's why diploid secondary nucleus. Pollen grain after dispersal from the anthers are carried by wind or various other agents or vectors, wind, water, insect, bird, animal, etc. to the stigma of a pistil, and it is must for fertilization purpose. This mechanism is actually termed as pollination, transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma of female organ. The pollen grains germinate on the stigma and the resulting pollen tubes grow through the tissues of stigma and style and reach up to the ovule region. The pollen tubes enter the embryo sac where two male gametes are discharged. Actually, in typical angiosperm plants, the pollen tube carry two male gametes. They are haploid in nature. It moves towards the embryo sac where one egg cell is present. Now of these two male gametes, actually one male gamete fuse with the egg cell and each form typical zygote structure. This mechanism is known as syngamy. What about second male gamete? It also fuses with the diploid secondary nucleus as we talked earlier, which is located in central region. Cells fuse and form diploid nucleus structure. So they produce the triploid primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus, in short it is known as PEN. So these two male gametes, one fuse with egg cell, it forms zygote and in future embryo develop. Second male gamete which fuse at centrally located diploid nucleus. So one nucleus plus two in diploid, that's why triploid primary endosperm nucleus is formed here. So actually two times fertilization process take place, twice fusion take place due to presence of two male gametes. Once with egg cell, zygote is formed. Second time with diploid secondary nucleus, that is formation of PEN primary endosperm nucleus, triploid in nature, and that's why this event, which is unique for angiosperm, is known as double fertilization. Now you can understand fertilization take place. Common word is fertilization, but two times take place, and that's why this mechanism or process in angiosperm is known as double fertilization process. At the end of fertilization, zygote develops into an embryo with one or two cotyledons, depends it is dicot or monocot plant, and the pen develops into endosperm which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. So the importance of primary endosperm nucleus is that in future at maturity it develops into endosperm structure and endosperm is merged to provide nourishment to developing embryo. The synergids and antipodal cell, which are actually part of this embryo sac, out of this egg cell, now you know it very well, synergid cell and antipodal cell, they degenerate after fertilization. So after fertilization, no role is observed of these cells. During these events, the ovules develop into seeds and the ovaries develop into fruit. So we can say here typical structures are observed. Ovules develop into seeds and ovaries develop into fruit structure. So all type of fruits, now we know about these types of fruit. Actually at maturity after fertilization, ovaries develop into fruit. And what is seed? Ovules develop into seeds. So it is for our understanding, the ovaries develop into fruit and ovules develop into seed after fertilization process in plants. If we study further life cycle in the figure form, simply diagrammatic representation, we can study entire life cycle of angiosperm plant in short. This life cycle of angiosperm plant, diagrammatic representation for simple understanding. Here you can see one typical flower structure, that is actually sunflower figure in this picture. At maturity, from flower, typical flower structure, they develop male and female sex organs for reproduction purpose. As a male reproductive organ, the unit is anther. You can see here it possesses and third, collective and filament, that is stamen unit of male. The carpel or pistil from female organ is possess stigma, style and ovary. At maturity, anther develop pollen grains. It develop from microspore mother cell produced within microsporangia, and microspores develop. They are also known as pollen grains at maturity, while comparatively in female from reproductive unit from pistil or carpel, in megaspore mother cell develop within ovary structure. It form 8 cell embryo sex structure, and egg is or egg cell is produced, as you know, in typical embryo sex structure. So in angiosperm plant, in the life cycle at the time of reproduction, both male and female reproductive organs undergo these changes. Male organ develop microspore or pollen grain for fertilization, and female organ it develop egg cell for same. At the time of fertilization, after pollination process, now you know double fertilization process take place. Two male gametes move towards embryo sac, ovule structure here. One fuse with egg cell, another fuse with secondary polar nuclei, and this fertilization process take place. After fertilization, zygote develops into embryo, and again the new plant or new generation develop here. So this life cycle is observed in typical angiosperm plants. Now by studying this diagrammatic representation of life cycle of angiosperm, you can easily understand main events take place in the life cycle. Plant life cycle and alternation of generation. Now you know very well about all 5 divisions of kingdom plant. But actually how does this plant life cycle take place generation after generation? Sporophyte and gametophyte phase, you are aware of this word. It takes place one after another or one by one alternately in life cycle of plant, and that is known as alternation of generation. In plants, both haploid and diploid cells can divide by mitosis. This ability leads to the formation of different plant bodies like haploid and diploid in typical plants. The haploid plant body produces gametes by mitosis process. This plant body represents as gametophyte, gamete producing phase. Following fertilization, the zygote also divides by mitosis to produce a diploid sporophytic plant body. So two type of phases are observed, gametophyte phase and sporophyte phase in life cycle of a plant. Haploid spores are produced by this plant body by meiosis process. This is in turn divided by mitosis to form a haploid plant body once again. So, during the life cycle of any sexually reproducing plant here, there is an alternation of generation between gamete producing haploid gametophyte phase and spore producing diploid sporophyte phase, and it terms as a alternation of generation. This alternation of generation may be vary in different kind of plant or divisions, and generally 3 patterns are observed here. First haplontic, second diplontic, and third haplodiplontic. Now let's study in detail about all these 3 patterns of life cycle in plants. First type of life cycle, haplontic. Main features or characteristics of this life cycle: sporophytic generation is represented only by the one cell, single cell zygote. There are no free living sporophyte phase. Meiosis in the zygote results in the formation of haploid spores. The haploid spores divide mitotically and form the gametophyte. The dominant photosynthetic phase in such plant is the free living gametophyte stage. This kind of life cycle is termed haplontic. It is observable in many types of algae. Some examples: volvox, Spirogyla, and some species of Chlamydomonas. Actually, this type of life cycle we will study in figure also in detail, which represent the different patterns of life cycle. So for our simple understanding, we can also say that in this life cycle of plant, haplotic life cycle, majority of the life cycle phase is covered by haploid phase. This figure suggests all three type of life cycle patterns, that is haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic. First figure, A figure, it is about haplontic life cycle. Here you can see the majority life cycle portion, that is pink in color, it is covered by haploid phase, and some part of life cycle, small part, is covered by diploid phase. In this type of life cycle you can observe the gametophyte phase and spore producing phase. It come one by one in the life cycle of plant. Gametophyte phase, that is end gametophyte, gametogenesis process take place, zygote formation take place, undergo meiosis and spores are produced. So gametophyte phase and sporophyte phase continuously one after another alternately is observed during their life cycle phases. So this is a one kind of alternation of generation and pattern is haplontic. Second figure, that is diplontic life cycle. Here you can see the majority main phase covered, that is diploid phase in their life cycle. It is, you can see, which is blue in color, and small portion it is having haploid phase in their life cycle. Again you can see here the gamete producing gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase come one by one in their life cycle. Alternately they are repeated, sporophyte, then gametophyte, again sporophyte and gametophyte, and that's why it is known as alternation of generation. In third figure, that is diplontic type of life cycle, third type of life cycle, almost their life majority of their portion equally divided into haploid and diploid phases, that is haplodiplontic life cycle. Here gametophyte phase and sporophyte again you can see come one after another, alternately it is appear in the life cycle, and the time period covered by both phases is almost equal or same in their life cycle. So spore producing phase, gamete producing phase, gametophyte and sporophyte phase alternately observed in their life cycle. So now we can compare between all three types, haplontic, diplontic and haplodiplontic type of life cycle observed in typical plants. Here in haplontic, majority part is covered by haploid phase, in diplontic majority phase is covered by diploid phase, and we can say in haplodiplontic almost both phases, haploid and diploid, covered by almost equal time duration period. Second type of life cycle, that is diplontic life cycle. We have studied in figure also. On the other extreme is the type where in the diploid sporophyte is the dominant here, which is photosynthetic, it means carry out photosynthesis and independent phase of the plant. So the main phase here, that is sporophyte, which was gametophyte main phase in haplontic. The gametophyte phase represented by the single to few cell haploid gametophyte structure, and this life pattern is known as diplontic life cycle. Some examples: all seed bearing plants like gymnosperms and angiosperm actually. So we can say majority of plants they show this type of life cycle. Now you are aware of this pattern also by studying figure in previous diagram what is diplontic life cycle actually. Third and last type of life cycle, that is haplodiplontic life cycle. Plants like bryophytes and pteridophytes, they are interestingly exhibit an intermediate condition like haplodiplontic. Both phases are multicellular and often free living also. However, they differ in their dominant phases. A dominant independent photosynthetic thalloid or erect phase is represented by a haploid gametophyte, and it alternates with the short-lived multicellular sporophyte, totally or partially depend on the gametophyte for its anchorage and nutrition. Actually, all type of bryophyte plants represent this pattern. How does this life cycle is take place? A dominant independent photosynthetic phase, that is thalloid bed structure, represented by haploid gametophyte. It alters with short-lived multicellular sporophyte, and this way one by one alternately this pattern two phases observed in their life cycle, that is alternation of generation, and all bryophytes show this type of pattern. Secondly, how does take place in pteridophyte? The diploid sporophyte represented by dominant independent photosynthetic vascular plant body here. It alternates with multicellular saprophytic or autotrophic independent but short-lived haploid gametophyte. Such a pattern is known as haplodiplontic life cycle. Which plants show this life cycle? All pteridophytes exhibit this pattern. Previously, pattern was observed in bryophyte plant, that is haplodiplontic pattern. Different pattern was there, and this pattern is found in all pteridophytes. Exhibit this type of life cycle pattern. So both phases come one after another, sporophyte and gametophyte phase, and that's why it is known as alternation of generation. So by studying this topic, now you can easily understand what is plant life cycle. Two phases come alternately in their life, sporophytic phase, gametophytic phase. Okay, so they alter one by one after another, and that's why it is also known as alternation of generation. Three types or three patterns are there: haplontic life cycle, diplontic life cycle, and haplodiplontic life cycle. Some interesting examples are also there. In mostly algae, haplontic life cycle is observed, but some of these algae they also show haplodiplontic life cycle, like Ectocarpus, Polysiphonia, Calves, they show this pattern, as well as the diplontic life cycle is also observed in some algae like Fucus. So this way, in various plants, sexually reproducing plants like algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms, this type of life cycle and alternation of generation take place, and it is very important for continuity or existence of their life on this earth.